All right. So what are we going to discuss today is what is ISE. So in fact, in previous section we have already discussed about the ISE. We have also discussed about the AAA, right? And also about the protocols like the CAX and the radius. What are the differences between them? So today what we're going to do is ISE installation, right? So we have ESXi server in our data center, and the IP address of that ESXi server is 172.168.100.254, right? And there is one machine which is going to be a ESXi or Vsphere Client. So the ESXi server, as we discussed before, it is used for this virtual machines, server. Yeah, it is used for virtualization, but there has to be one server. That is where it is going to be ESXi server. ESXi server. Right? And we have also Vsphere Client. So Vsphere Client, why do we use Vsphere Client? Because that's an application to which we will be accessing this ESXi server. So for example, if you see this, we have already this VMware Vsphere Client, right? When I launch it, right? So there has to be a communication between this ESXi server. Could be anywhere, not necessarily that it has to be only connected directly or something. Could be anywhere in your network or maybe publicly, and through VPN also you can get connected and access this 100.254 ESXi server, right? So that we have already verified that there is a reachability. What we'll do is we'll access now that ESXi server, right? So hold on, let me start a new share, which is this one. All right. So the username is going to be root, and password is very secure. But for you guys, it's go123. Right. Proceed with that. As we already verified the reachability, we do have reachability. And what is this? Log into the Vsphere client. Why it is actually it is opening this way. Some guidelines. This is what cancel. Okay, I don't see it actually. Oh, it was help actually. Fine. So the root, and again the password is Cisco123. Login. So what we are doing, we are accessing ESXi server, right? So this is your ESXi server. I mean, this is the IP address 100.254, and in this we have some virtual machines created already, right? In this particular server, this is for device. This is your yeah, Active Directory and certificate authority and other services going on, DNS and NTP, right? So in this particular ESXi, you can upload the files also. So for example, you are creating a virtual machine and then you have to link maybe the bootable file, right, to it. So we can already upload these kind of files to its data store. So in order to do that, go to this summary. This is data store. Just right click, right, browse data store. So when you say browse data store, you see here you have options: upload files to this particular data store or download the files. These are the files which we have already uploaded here, right? So there are some files for the call managers. There are some files for the ISE also, as you see this one, right? So this is going to be 2.3. 2.3 nowadays, what is the version of ISE? It is going to be, I believe, 2.4 or 2.5. So this is again the latest one itself. All right. So that is, so if you want to upload or if you want to download any of the files which are there in the data store, you can do it through these two icons, right? So since we have already, we're not going to actually download or upload anything. I'm going to just cancel it. But we have to create a virtual machine, right? In this, so these are the virtual machines already created, right? If I right click over here, so in order to create a virtual machine, there are two methods. One method is you create through this, the new virtual machine. This is kind of a manual, means you have to give the memory requirement, hard disk and everything, processor, number of NIC cards, everything manually, right, in this. But in other method, there's something called deploy OVF template, right? This OVF template is something which you will download from Cisco, you know, and for based on the product, and that template you have to browse it here. So you just have to only mention the number of users. Rest it will calculate the requirement, hardware requirements automatically, and then specify that that much RAM is required, that much hard disk is required, that much processor, and all those required, right? So let me see if we have already OVF file for this virtual machine for CIM and presence, and what is that? If I browse it and next, this file might not be exactly what we are looking for actually. No, this is not the file. So in order to download or in order to create or install ISE, we will go with the manual creation of the virtual machine. So that is how we create the virtual machine manually. So configuration typical, we'll select it normal, let it be default. Next, the new virtual machine. So you see here we have some names here, right? So since we are going to ISE could be one. Next, you have to specify the hard disk, right? Now, in order to specify the hard disk, you should know that how much hard disk exactly it requires. What if you don't know? In that case, it may give you the error message saying this hardware is not supported for this virtual machine, right? So that now, since you are not sure, that is where this Ovf template comes in a picture. Means you don't have to specify the hard disk or the minimum requirement of RAM or something. It is just you create and tell the number of users. It will take automatically. So I believe we have the virtual machine Ovf file already. Let me quickly see where is it. There will be somewhere here. Security software. Could be here. Collaboration, CCI, security, softwares. Okay, so I think we have already Ovf file here, right? But you can, when we saw actually, it wasn't available there in the data store. So what we have to do, we have to upload this to the data store. So let's see how to upload the file to the ESXi data store. Minimize it. We'll cancel it again and go to summary and select this browse data store, download, upload files. So you can upload it from anywhere. Since I have accessed from this, so let's go to the particular this security software and ISE, but this is 2.2.3. We're going to use this one. This is also the same. So if a file or folder in the target location has the same name as once been copied, it will be replaced. Okay, fine, replace it. So now it is uploading that file to the data store. So that this is based on the the speed. So as if now it is saying 13 minutes, but I think in 5 minutes it will be over. So all right, it is going to be completed soon. 21 seconds. So once we have uploaded this file, you will see it here. So while creating now Ovf file, you can easily browse this particular file. All right. So let's close it and deploy Ovf template. Browse it. Should be not here, but we can anyways deploy from anywhere. So we can deploy it from here also. So you can also give the local file, the one which is there. So if you have noticed, the one which we have actually uploaded it there, it is there with the data store itself. Okay. I can also select this one, open, and the URL find. Next. So size on disk, 10 GB required, 200 GB required for this thick provisioning. So these are the two provisioning, default thin and then thick. Let's see what it is taking default. The name. So ISE 1. Next, you see this thick provisioning, and so in this case, the available size or the available space is only 164. So what do we have to do? But if we do the thin provisioning, might not work properly, right? So what we have to do, either where is that? Either we'll cancel it and CUCM pub CUC11 teleprints. We'll delete this. As of now, we do not need this, and we'll start again. Deploy OVF. That's fine. I don't have to actually deploy it again. And ISE. Now we have available space. This is size on disk 200. Data stored. Now it is creating the virtual machine. Right, so you don't have to give any particular memory, any RAM or the hard disk or the processor, virtual CPU or anything. It will take automatically. So previously, what we have seen, how to upload the file to the data stored in ESXi, and this one we are actually deploying the ISE. All right, so 14 seconds left. So you can see the status here as well, 99% completed, or the seconds also. So the deploying ISE 1 completed successfully. Close it. Now if I see over here, right? So in order to, since the image is already linked with this particular virtual machine, right? Let me see if we can edit something or if we need something to edit. It has taken already the RAM. You see that 4 GB it has taken. These number of network adapters it has created automatically, right? In this CD DVD, it has already this virtual device. All right, so okay, what we have to do is power on. We'll click on console. So here we can monitor what is happening. So even now this ISE will obviously install the so many files, the packages and all. Right, so it says welcome to Red Hat Enterprise Linux, all okay. And an error occurred during the file system check, dropping you to the shell. System will reboot. Give root password for maintenance or type Ctrl-D to continue. The Ctrl-D. Isn't this not there? Maybe some error. This is the error from the Red Hat itself, the virtual machine what we have created. It says unexpected inconsistencies. Run FSCK manually. Okay, without this failed. An error occurred during the file system check, dropping you to a shell. So might be this particular file what we have uploaded is corrupted, right, without -a or -b, because it is trying to actually check some files internally. I see here starting host name, local host, starting up logical value management, no volume group found, right, cannot read this starting. So obviously while installing you may face so many issues also. It is always good to face the issues while doing the lab itself, so at least you are aware of what all issues that you may face, right? So at this moment the issue might be with the ISE, the file what we have actually dropped it, right? Either first or the OVF template what we have created. Let's power off again and try to that Control C. Okay, go to the getting started. Power of the virtual machine. Power off, yes. Let's see again. So if it is giving the same error, in that case, give root password for maintenance or type control to continue. Let's say give root password for maintenance. Type. It doesn't look like working. Okay, but the question is, have we given any image? Have we given to it? No, we haven't, right? So power it off. Getting started. In order to give the image or link the image, right, click on data store, because that ISO file which we have recently uploaded, it is there in the data store also. Which one? What it means. So it means that that file, what we are trying to install, it should be in the data store. We have uploaded before itself, right? The first time we have uploaded this file. Now we are using this file. So this means whenever this virtual machine, whenever you power on this virtual machine, it will check this file to boot, right? You have to also select this one, connected power on. So connected power means immediately when it gets connected, or when immediately when it gets power, right, it will get connected and it will check this data store file. So this file, since it is available, this is a bootable file. Since it is available in data store, right, power on. Let's go to the console. Now it will find that file. I see we see here that the welcome to the Cisco Identity Service Engine installer 2.3. This is the version. Cisco ISE installation, ISE installation, right? So we'll select keyboard monitor, serial console, and keyboard monitor, serial console. We'll select one, enter boot option, and press. So we believe keyboard monitor, serial console. We'll select one, enter. So now it will download the packages, it will install the packages, ISE packages and all. So it is good to face the issue, otherwise you won't learn much. Starting installer. You see they check clock speed, verified RAM. Okay, it says the installer detects less than the required 2 CPU cores, right? So which means we have to give 2 CPU, 2 virtual CPUs. But here, as of now, it is 1. Right? So again, you may have to power it off. Getting started at virtual machine. Here you will have the CPUs. So total number of 1. And here's this. First one. Okay. Let's again power on. Console. So if it is through the OVF, in that case, it would have taken automatically. You don't have to assign manually. Okay. Select one. See, I mean, working in a production, that doesn't mean that you will be working on the all products. But you will be working on the, the ISE, you will be working on the WSA, you will also be working on the firewall. It is like there will be one specific job role, right? Either you will be working on the firewall or you will be working on the ISE. Normally in company, they won't give you multiple actually roles. They will give you the one role only. Could be anything. Could be like ISE, could be, the the firewall itself, or you are working in email security threats, or you are working in this uh, web security. So the number. Yes. We can do it on AAA Microsoft server. Which server? But you have to specify it, right? I mean, server, how will you get? So server, either it could be ACS or it could be ICE for the project. They should also have, yes, Microsoft also will have their own, for the AAA, but that will be only from the user perspective, will not be from the network devices perspective. Like if such as all networking components or the networking devices getting connected to the network, right? They won't have control. But ICE is something that it can also scan the Active Directory of Microsoft. It can also scan the all devices which are connected in your network. If you have 500 devices connected in your network, could be Wi-Fi, could be access point, could be controller, could be switches, routers, could be firewall or IPS or anything. It will scan it and then provide that functionality. So it will take some close to 25 minutes, 20-25 minutes. So I'll pause this video recording for time being. All right, so it is still installing ISE. So after 15-20 minutes, we have landed here, and we see that it is installing ISE. So again, we have to wait for close to 10 minutes. So right, since installation is done, please type a setup to configure the appliance. So here only option we have is we have to set it up. So what is it asking actually? It is asking to set up the basic ISE. So you have to put the basic information, like as I told you about the IP address, how are you going to access, whether you want to enable HTTP, whether you want to enable SSH, and all. So you see here it is saying enter host name. You say ISE1, enter IP address. So 172.168.100 dot anything which is not configured in the network, otherwise it will be a duplicate IP address. So we'll configure 191. I'm just randomly picking IP address. Enter IP net mask 0. Enter default gateway. Now this default gateway should be available, should be reachable. So what I'm going to configure, I'm going to configure 172.168.100.254 because it is reachable to 254. This IP address is. Enter default DNS domain, so we'll configure champ.com. Enter primary name server, means the DNS server, right? The DNS server is going to be 172.168.100.96. 96 is this one. This guy over here, let me power on the virtual machine. So let me power it on. This is actually server 2012, where we are running most of the services like certificate authority and DNS, NTP, so everything almost. Let's go back to the console. Okay, so that one is the IP address 96. So what it is saying, the enter primary name server, right? Means DNS server. Where is your DNS server? The DNS server is 100.96. Okay. Add secondary name server. If you want to add, you can add. Already it is selected. N means no. We'll say no. Enter Ntp Server Time, which is this is the default. Anyways, we're going to Ntp server. So Ntp server as an the who is your Ntp server? So again 172.168.100.96 is our Ntp server. Also add another Ntp server. No. Enter system time zone. Fine. UTC is fine. Enable SSH service. So you have to say yes. Means so that I can access this ISE through the SSH. Enter username admin. Let it be default. Yes, admin. Enter the password. The password every time what we're going to configure is C capital explanation SCO underscore 123. The password is C explanation SCO underscore 123. This is the password we will be configuring everywhere. Enter password again. The explanation SEO underscore 123. So copying first CLI user to be first ISE admin GUI user, bringing you up network interface. So based on the information entered, right now it will bring this interface up. So once this ISE is completely, you have set it up properly. After 10 to 15 minutes, you will be able to access ISE through the browser. So now it is verifying pinging the gateway. See, if the gateway is not reachable here, it will give you the error message. So as of now, these tests, all tests are going through. Network interfaces pinging the gateways. The gateway is reachable. Pinging the primary name server, that is reachable. Testing virtual machine disk performance. Seems like good. So this input output bandwidth performance within supported guidelines. All right, so do not use Control-C from this point because it will do some basic initialization, installing applications, initial setup for the application ISE. So this installation is happening after, I believe, close to 1 hour. We started 1 hour before. So it has taken so far 1 hour, still going on. Expecting more 5 minutes. Almost is done. So welcome to the ISE initial setup. The purpose of this setup is to provision the internal ISE database. This setup is non-interactive and will be roughly 15 minutes to complete. Very good. So creating ISE CIMC session directory. So progressing slowly. All right. So rebooting it got rebooted, which means things are fine, and will come up with the new ISE installed in this virtual machine. All right. So login host, admin, and the password what we have entered. So this is your ISE 1/admin. Now, just to verify whether the ISE has been completely installed or not. So startup, not this. So okay, we can do the question mark. This is actually, so we'll say show application. We'll say show application. What application? So status ISE. It says okay, let's say ISE. So after running this command, show application status in ISE, if it is installed, as you saw it, I mean, as you see here, yep, it is installed, right? But these are the kind of application server not running, profile database not running, and these are the database server running. We can also SSH it from my laptop also. So let me say ping 172.168.100.249. I have the reachability, so I can also SSH it. Let me new share and then new terminal. So SSH admin @172.168.100.249. SSH connect to the host 420 connection refused. 172.168.100.249. Maybe admin and then this one. SSH could not have resolve host admin, node name or server provider are not in SSH. The command SSH admin. Uh, Let me then try from the where is stop. Let me try it from here itself. Let me try from this. So SSH and 172.168.249. Network connection refused. So it seems maybe this maybe that service is not running. It's verified. Database server ISE. So database server is running. Application server not running. So normally when it gets started, right, it takes some time to run all those services. Not running, not running, running. Now if you check, it's the same command actually. You will see some difference. Few applications would be running now. Normally the SSH is the service which gets initiated first. Let me ping also. So ping 172.168.100.249. Reachability is there, which means fine. If you ask this. So might be this particular service itself is not running. Let's wait. But as of now, ISE has been successfully installed. So when you do the show application status in ISE, it will tell you, it will display all those details. These are the services which are disabled, as you see here. So in this DHCP server is also disabled. DNS server is disabled. You see some of the services now started running. Earlier it wasn't running. Sharing is paused. Bring your shared window to the front. So after running the second time commands, I see some services running. Application server. This is the main server actually. The application server. This one. It is initializing and it takes normally some time, 5 to 10 minutes in fact, to bring this ISE completely up. All right, now I see most of the services are running. Let's try again doing SSH, accessing this. No, network error, connection refused. So SSH is enabled. We have enabled the SSH. Anyways, but application server initializing. The application server is still initializing, so probably we have to wait for